Something There, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose, with artwork for the opening and thumbnail image by Cho1 on Instagram. I will leave Cho1's Instagram linked in the description box. This is a compilation video of all 3 chapters. Please enjoy Something There. Chapter 1.
Adrien aggressed, at home, with his wife. Adrien stared at his Kwami, sleeping peacefully and snuggled up to Tiki. No, there's definitely something going on between them, he said. For the last time! They're older than dinosaurs, and that's not an expression. If something were going to happen between the two of them, it would have already, Marinette said, not looking up from her embroidery. She'd gotten a kit that used ribbons for thread and was determined to make it look at least halfway decent. I don't know. Adrien let the word stretch. Have you seen them leaving the house together? It's not like they're going out to canoodle. Marinette snipped a ribbon. It's her making sure that Plag doesn't rack up the tab at Leon's cheese store too high. He wasn't convinced. Only one thing to do. Sliding on his trench coat, Adrien grabbed his sunglasses and perched himself behind the couch, observing the Kwami so he could follow them when they woke up. What are you doing? Adrien looked up to see Marinette with her arms crossed, frowning down at him. From this angle, the spatula in hand looked quite intimidating. He began. You're gonna get pulled over by the cops again. Okay, listen, last time You have never once worn that trench coat to a good idea. A yawn came from the couch before he could answer. They were awake. Adrien reached out and grabbed his wife, slamming her atop him and out of sight at the cost of thigh pain and an elbow to the collarbone. Tiki sat up and stretched, accompanied by a yawn from Plag loud enough to shake the house. I think I... Need some cheese? Adrien couldn't see her well, but recognized Tiki's voice. Come on, let's go. He watched as the Kwamis took off, fighting Marinette's struggles before uncovering her mouth. Let's go after them, he said. You're not going to change, are you? Marinette asked. No time, let's go! Well, at least you're handsome in anything. Adrien ignored the remark that usually made him glow, because the game was afoot, or however the expression went. It was a lot harder to follow them than expected. They could fly, after all, and Marinette made him comply to all road crossing regulations. Sure enough, they ended at Leon's cheese store. Taking the back entrance, Adrien watched the Kwamis fly around as they hid behind a wheel of Gouda. Of course Leon knew about them, much to his wife's dismay, but still, they were being a bit bold by flying about so openly. Adrien, let's just go, Marinette said, tugging on his sleeve. Shh. They watched as Plag tried to yank a cube of cheese from the bottom of a display, leaving Tiki to roll her eyes and bring the top one down to him instead. Here, she said. Thank you, sugar cube. Adrien heard Marinette gasp as Plag basically headbutted Tiki. Was that supposed to be a kiss? From Plag? Did Kwamis even kiss in the first place? Come to think of it, he'd seen Tiki kiss Marinette's cheeks before, but there's no way Plag would ever do such an action. Did his eyes deceive him, or... You were right, Marinette whispered. Nah, that was just a thank you. Adrien felt a bit unsettled from this. I don't know. Marinette leaned closer. There's something more. Like you said, friends since before dinosaurs. No, maybe you're right, babe. Maybe they just needed time to mature. Oh, dear. She had that look in her eye. Yeah, that's why Plag is just that. Mature. She smacked his peck without looking away from the Kwami duo. But more than any of the other Kwamis, they spend a lot of time outside of the Miraculous box, and therefore apart from each other. When's the last time they got to spend this much time with the other? She had a point, but what was once exciting and mysterious now made his skin crawl. Now that he'd seen it, a relationship didn't suit Plag at all. Besides, they were androgynous creatures. Why should they date at all? But still, looking at the way he flew around Tiki to bug her as she settled things with Leon made him wonder if there was something there after all. Adrien, come on! Marinette hissed, tugging his trench coat as the Kwamis left. We have to get home before them! Out of breath, Adrien was just barely able to strip the suspicious-looking trench coat before Plag barreled through the door, his bag looking less stuffed than when they'd seen it at the cheese store. Leon was having a sale, Plag exclaimed. Half off Camembert-related purchases. I'm sorry, Marinette. Adrien, Tiki said, retreating to her dollhouse. Sorry? For what? Adrien asked. The answer was obvious. Plag pulled out cheese-themed everythings. A pen, an apron that said I'm kind of Gouda in the kitchen, and a small sweater that he, Plag, put on straight away with a tiny piece of camembert stitched on it. Well, at least the apron was a pun when spoken by an American. Did you enjoy your date? Marinette asked. Wow, she didn't care about being subtle, huh? I'll go on a date with cheese any day, Plag exclaimed, unwrapping and inhaling a piece of camembert. Slow down there, bud, Adrien said, catching the piece he threw in the air before it could land in his mouth. He shot a glance to Marinette, who shrugged. Huh. Maybe there wasn't something there after all. Retiring to the couch, after all that sleuthing, Adrien fell asleep to a dream about dancing in the kitchen wearing the Gouda apron and belting Jesse McCartney. Strange, but it didn't matter. He wouldn't remember it when he woke up. It was just another delightful day with his wife and his 2 Kwamis.
Chapter 2.
Adrien aggressed. At home, hiding behind a bamboo plant. Marinette! Adrien hissed, trying his best to keep it a whisper. Marinette, they're holding hands! You're not inconspicuous in the slightest, darling. Adrien sat, perched behind their black bamboo plant, staring at the Kwamis as they napped. His wife carried on with her late afternoon ritual of hot chocolate with whipped cream and the latest webtoon update, scrolling without a care to his whims. But they're holding hands! And Tiki curls into my neck when we nap. Leave them alone, darling. You'll upset the balance of the universe if you force it. I'm not forcing anything. You're willing it into existence. So you do think something's there. Marinette sighed and set down her hot chocolate. Darling? Yes, dear? What will prove or disprove this? We have to investigate. Adrien beamed, knowing she'd hate this idea. Oh, no. And you know what that means? He wiggled his eyebrows. Don't say it. A trusty trench coat. He bolted for the closet before she could get a word in. Wait. Where? Babe? Adrien called, not wanting the answer if it came from her. Babe, Where's my trench coat? In the washer. He turned to see her leaning in the doorframe, arms crossed. Phew, he thought she'd thrown it away, or worse. For how long? For a wash cycle? And then a drying cycle. She chuckled at his question. He bolted to the laundry room. There! It was on spin! He opened the machine and grabbed his trusty coat, damp, not moist, and slid it on over his t-shirt. Let's go! He called to his wife, who'd unexpectedly followed him in. Babe. What? Darling. Yes, my love? He watched as she searched for a word. No. Yes! I thought we agreed that you can only wear the coat as Cat Noir from now on. You agreed to that, he pointed out. I continued making eggs. You're really insisting on a technicality, huh? You just wish you could rock a trench coat like this. No, darling, I really don't. He stuck out his tongue and retreated back to the living room to see Plag yawning and Tiki stretching. Why are you wearing that abomination? Plag groaned, noticing his trench coat. Are you going to get cheese or something? No, Adrien began. Then I don't care. Plag rolled over and closed his eyes as Tiki adjusted herself beside him. Wasn't Marinette going to throw that away? Tiki asked. What? No, never! Adrien clutched it tighter to his chest. She narrowed her eyes before curling back up to Plag. Okay, now he had to ask. Are you guys dating? He blurted, getting all the words out before Marinette could stop him. What, you think Sugar Cube and I have chemistry? Plag piped up, rolling over with a smirk on his face. Tiki sighed and pushed him back over. We're Kwamis. Such a construct doesn't exist for us. So then, best friends? Adrien asked as he saw Marinette facepalm from the corner of his eye. Well, although we've known each other for several lifetimes, Tiki began. What we have is like a fine cheese, Plag interrupted. Aged. Tiki slapped his tummy and sighed. Did you read some kind of fanfiction off the Lady blog again? What? Kwami fanfiction existed? You'd have to look into that. No, you guys are, he made a circular gesture with his hands. Canoodling? Canoodling? What do you mean? His wife exploded with laughter behind them. I'm leaving. Good luck explaining yourself, Mr. Trenchcoat, Marinette said, retreating back to her now lukewarm chocolate and webtoons. Ooh, canoodling, Plag echoed, sitting up, smirking, and planting a kiss on Tiki's cheek. She scowled and pushed him away. Again, no such thing as a dating construct for us, Tiki said, floating up to sit on the armrest by herself. Oh, come on, Sugar Cube. Plag followed her, clearly entertained by a new way to bug her. Aren't you always going on about being innovative? She kicked him out of the air as he approached with such force that he hit Adrien, grasping onto the trenchcoat to grab his bearings. Ew, Plag said, pulling off and floating as he looked at his arms. Why is it moist? Marinette, of course, laughed at the comment. Adrien didn't. Come on, bud. Let's go to the cheese store, he said, opening a pocket wide enough for Plag to slip in. What? Actually, don't answer that. I don't care why, Plag said, flying in. It's nice to treat yourself after a rejection, Adrien said, winking at Tiki, who in turn rolled her eyes before curling up to go to sleep. There's nothing I can say to get you to not wear that out, huh? Marinette asked, not looking up from her latest tapas update. Nope. Have fun. Will do. Don't get arrested. I'll try. I'll be here. Hope so. Adrien pressed a kiss to her forehead before she looked up and he caught her lips too. Do you want anything while I'm out? Yeah. Stop by the donation center and drop that trench coat off. Sure won't, he winked, putting his shoes on and opening the door. Love you, Bugaboo. Love you too. She looked up and blew him a kiss. With today's mystery solved, Adrien left his place with his trusty trench coat and his Kwami. His Kwami, who had no idea what's coming. If there was anything Sherlock and anime taught him, it's that there was always more. There was something different between Plag and Tiki. There was. There had to be something there, and he was determined to find out. Thankfully, one of them would squeal for a bit of cheese, and if that didn't work, Adrien knew what he had to do. If it came down to it, Adrien would threaten the cheese to get the truth.
Chapter 3.
Adrien aggressed in the cheese store's bathroom, holding a bag of camembert. No! Adrien, don't do it! Plag's cries fell on deaf ears as Adrien dropped camembert, piece by piece, into the toilet. You should have answered the question the first time, he said, watching another little bit ploink into the water. I did! I'd still choose camembert over her is not an answer, Plag. But it's true! Then prove it. Save the camembert with your answer. If looks could kill, Adrien would go down in history as the first miraculous holder murdered by his Kwami. Please, Plag begged. Not the cheese! Not the camembert! It's done nothing wrong! Only you can save it. Now, will you... Adrien began, interrupted by his phone ringing. Oh, hold on a sec. It was his wife. Marinette? Babe? Where are you? Shopping. Leon called. Huh? He's concerned about the sounds coming from the loo. Any ideas? What are you doing to Plag? Why do you just assume Plag's involved? Adrien questioned, sweat prickling his back. Because I remember the last time you threatened him with cheese. That was... Stop it! Adrien gave Plag a stink eye as the Kwami grinned, arms crossed. Fine. Come home. But we can go on a Starbucks date? Adrien debated it. The cheese wasn't getting him anywhere, but Tiki with Starbucks desserts? Yeah, maybe. He could work with that. Great! You'd better not have that trench coat on when you come home. She was serious, wasn't she? I'll give it a new home. Oh, camembert, Plag said, making a mad dash to free his love from Adrien's grasp. I'll never abandon you again. Hey, Leon, Adrien said, opening the bathroom door and calling out to the empty cheese store. I heard you called my wife. 10 minutes of discussion and debating later, Adrien traded his trench coat for Leon's silence, which was fair because he was the one who gave it to him in the first place. This also meant he walked into Starbucks to see his wife's smug face. "Did you drop it off at home first?" she asked as he joined her in line. "Nah," he said, looking over the menu. "I traded it." Someone wanted that thing? As an exchange? Rude. No ruder than you insisting on wearing it to dinner with my parents. Hey now, Dad liked it. Well, I love Father. I promise my mom didn't marry him for his taste in fashion. She paid for their drinks and they left, holding hands. "It's a bit chilly," Adrien said, leading her to a park bench. "Yeah, a bit." "You know what would be a good warm-up?" "Don't say it," Marinette sighed. "My trench," Adrien began, cut off by Plag flying out of their to-go bag. "You can't have it back," Plag called. "Plag!" Tiki exclaimed, pursuing him like a high-stakes chase. Yeah. Adrien watched as the creature zoomed around the bench, circling them fast enough that he couldn't see what was going on. "Oh no," he heard Marinette whisper. "Not without a kiss," Plag said, holding up a cookie. "You know, a little moi-moi action." Plag tossed a glance at Adrien. Wait, did he think getting a kiss meant Adrien would give him cheese? Silly Kwami. Before he could scold him, Tiki gave him a well-deserved roundhouse kick to the face, causing both him and his wife to laugh like Americans at the lunchtime entertainment. "Did the hostage situation bear any fruit?" Marinette asked, watching their Kwamis battle a few meters away from them. "Nope," Adrien sighed. "But now I think Plag's gonna harass Tiki for show." "Don't bother trying to understand their relationship, love. We barely understand what they are in the first place." "Yeah." He put his arm around her shoulders. "I suppose you're right." Adrien shouldn't be surprised to see the Kwamis curled up with each other on the couch the next day, but something inside him still raised an eyebrow. Perhaps he'd never understand. "Don't even think about it," Marinette said, enjoying her morning hot chocolate as he tiptoed to the bamboo plant. "But letting go of trench coats means letting go of trench coat mentality." He narrowed his eyes. "Just you wait and see. They'll realize their feelings when we least expect it." Uh-huh. Marinette turned back to her cast-style webtoons. "You don't believe me?" "I just don't see it, babe." "Oh, ye little of faith." "Yep, that's me. You got me." He twisted his lips into a pout. "Whatever happened to my stuttering, blushing Marinette?" She realized her crush of the century was the very same cat noir that had to go to the emergency room to get chopsticks removed professionally from pretending to be a walrus at a fundraiser. Christmas memories. He watched her fight a smile and trotted over, placing a kiss on her neck in just the right way to make her flush. Adrien! She began. "Never mind. Found her." She glared before softening her gaze as though asking for a kiss. He obliged, of course, and they both smiled as their lips pressed together. Being married was fun. Taking a final glance at the Kwamis napping in the sunbeam, Adrien turned his attention back to his wife, thinking about what they would do for Christmas this year. Without walrus chopsticks, of course. There might not be something between Plag and Tiki, but there would always be something there. And thus ended Adrien's quest to figure out the cheesecake relationship.
Thank you so much for listening. That was Something There, the complete mini-series. If you enjoyed this fanfiction and would like more, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications, as well as check out these other videos. If you're still listening, comment cheesecake. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!